Hi, my name is Kelly Lorraine and welcome to my series, Learning Tarot for Self-Development. Okay, so in this video, we're getting right into the cards. We've asked some questions, we've done an introduction, and today we're going to start with the Fool. The Fool card is card 0 out of 22 cards total of the major arcana. Just to clarify, the major arcana represent the major life events or shifts that can happen in one's lifetime. I always like to think of 22 as, of course, a master number, which is master builder. And when there's 22 cards, I think of it like we're building our life. We're building our life cycles. We're learning from something, and then we're building more knowledge and information from past experiences. Now, the Fool card doesn't necessarily have an astrological component to it. It has more of a planetary association, which happens to be Uranus. Uranus is all about independence, being a free spirit. Essentially, it's expect the unexpected. I think in some cases, the Fool card can actually be considered card number 22 instead of card 0 because, well, the end is the beginning is the end. Because once we get to card 21, we're all the way back at 0. Now, something I should clarify just from my own personal perspective is that we're never starting at 0. We're starting with knowledge that we didn't have before. Now, in the grand scheme of life, yes, we have to start somewhere. When we're born, that would be starting at 0, meaning a fresh slate, a clean slate. No learning or experience has taken place, and therefore we embark on a life journey. However, we're always going to go through the motions of different rounds, different experiences, and different cycles that give us the lessons to do better and to be better in life. I'm going to tell you the 5 things you need to know about the Fool. Number 1, the Fool is all about a fresh start, taking a leap of faith, embracing change, and having an open heart. The Fool can be associated to the root or base chakra because essentially that represents the foundation. So the Fool is all about embarking on a new journey so that we can make a new start or foundation for ourselves. It can also be associated with the crown chakra because it's all about the spiritual downloads that we receive along this journey. Think of it like inspiration to take that leap of faith, that download that says, you know what, I need to embark on that journey. Number 2, innocence. The Fool is essentially having childlike energy. It's a clean slate, naivete, fresh eyes on the world, being open to life's experiences without any judgment whatsoever. Think back to the imagery on the original Rider-Waite version of the Fool. Now, there's a little dog in that picture, and that little dog is at the heels of the Fool, and it kind of wants to warn the Fool that they're about to take a leap, but the Fool just does it anyways. Even though they're a little nervous, there's a bit of trepidation there, but there's a knowing that a move has to be made. I guess, how will we ever know unless we actually take that leap? The best way to learn something is to experience it for oneself. Number 3, trust, faith, and risk-taking. This is another version of trust the process. Now, if you know me, you know that I say trust the process all the time. And the reason is because we have to trust. What choice do we actually have sometimes? No risk, no reward. We have to believe that things will work out exactly the way that they're supposed to. And I want to remind you, nothing that's meant for you is ever going to pass you by. This also tells us or reminds us that we don't always need to plan. I like to look at it as intentions. We set an intention for something, we take that risk, we take that leap of faith, and we see where it takes us. We have no idea where it's going to go, but it could be the best thing that ever happens to us. Number 4, adventure, exploration, and possibilities. This is all about leaving your comfort zone. Now, one of my lines that I've always used in my practice is, if the comfort zone's so comfortable, why do we always want to leave it? Now, I want you to think about it. We complain about our comfort zone all the time, but we stay in it because it's familiar to us. The Fool invites us to see all the potential outcomes, all the things that could take us to new experiences and new heights. Now, sometimes people will say, what if it's bad? What if it doesn't work out? What if I make a mistake? Well, you'll cross that bridge when you get there. But if you don't try, if you don't see the possibilities, how will you ever achieve them? Number 5, freedom, authenticity, and being in the present moment. The Fool is all about being true to yourself. It is so important that you know how to follow your heart. Now, I'm always reminded of a quote that says, the longest journey is from the head to the heart. It's often that we get in our own way by overthinking something or telling ourselves that we just simply can't have this. This is an energy that reminds us, stop worrying about what other people think. This is about you, not them. It also reminds us to let go of an old narrative. If we have a story about something that we believe to be true, we're just going to manifest more of it. And ultimately, that's what gets in the way. We have to remember that, yes, we have chapters that have been previously written, and that's great. At the same time, there are many more words to be put on those pages, many more chapters to come. We just need to embrace the possibilities. Something that I always tell my online family is that we can visit our headspace, we cannot live there. And it's the same thing with the past. We can visit the past, but we can't live there either. We have to recognize that there are possibilities out there. We want to be our authentic self. And when we're in that old story or old narrative, it often leads us to live up to an expectation that people have of us from a long time ago that may not even exist today. How many of you have ever felt misunderstood, where you had to just live up to whatever people thought because that's the old story? Well, I'm inviting you to think about the possibilities of being a whole different you. Yes, you at your core, but one who's evolved, been through many experiences, and is doing better because there's a desire for the best of the best of the best. I think it's time we make a new story, don't you? Let's quickly talk about a few symbols that you might see on the Fool card itself. Earlier, I mentioned the dog, and that's a typical symbol of the Fool because that's a bit of a warning to us that we're about to take a leap of faith. We need the protectiveness of the dog or the warning to say, hey, are you sure? You sure you want to do this? And of course, the Fool is so oblivious, they have no life experience, that they're like, yeah, I think I'm going to go do this. And that's how it all begins. You might also see a white rose or butterfly. White is the color of purity and innocence, which makes sense to someone who's embarking on a brand new journey. There is a level of purity, naivete, or innocence to the start of something new. The sun on the Fool card can indicate illumination, the crown chakra, the download that says, yes, this is the time to do this. You might also notice a red feather, and that indicates the life force in the cap of the Fool. Let's talk about how this relates to self-development. If the Fool represents a fresh start, a new beginning, then we have to ask ourselves, what can get in the way of these new beginnings? Earlier I mentioned that we're never really starting at zero. We're starting with knowledge that we didn't have before. But oftentimes people associate card zero or the Fool with starting over again, and nobody likes to start over again. I'm going to repeat myself. You're never starting with zero. You're starting with knowledge that you didn't have before. I often hear this when somebody is debating whether to leave a relationship. This means that somebody is saying, I've invested X amount of years into this relationship or this person. I don't want to give up now. Maybe they'll change. Maybe something will happen. But if I start over, I now have to reinvest myself, my time, everything into this new person or situation. But I look at it like this. Even if I have a relationship that ends, I can take that information, I can take that wisdom and that knowledge, and I can apply it to myself to have a better experience. Take what you've learned from the past, apply it to the present so you can have a better future. I think another reason why the Fool card can be a little bit scary or daunting for people is because it means we have to trust that something new could be really great. How do we know unless we try, right? I always tell people, the future doesn't have to be scary. It can also be exciting. Do you remember that feeling when you would open up a present for your birthday or for Christmas and you didn't know what was in that gift? It's the same thing in life. Life is a gift. I'm kind of reminded of Forrest Gump here. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. And that's so true. How do you know it's not going to be the best thing that ever happened to you? I think another thing to consider is, what do you have to lose? Let me tell you a quick story. One day I was walking along a trail with my best friend. I was right at the point of my separation. I had been sparked by somebody who I was head over heels for, and I had an opportunity to get together with this person. My friend said to me, Kel, what if somebody sees you? What if somebody hears you? And my response was, what is anybody going to do to me at this point? My marriage had already crumbled. My ex-husband did some things that unfortunately were not very kind. Now, we're on good terms. I don't hold any ill will towards him. I do take responsibility for what happened between the two of us. I just don't think that I deserve what I got. That being put aside, I knew at that point I had nothing to lose. Why couldn't I go and meet this person? I was already embarking on a new journey. I was ready to learn new things and experience new things. How many of you have ever been in a situation where you were like, I do this, 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 and this, and who's thinking about me? Well, I've been in that situation, and that's exactly how I felt that day walking along the trail. I was tired of overgiving, overdoing, problem solving, and being everything to everyone. It was time that I put myself first. Really, what did I have to lose? Sometimes the best adventures start with the idea of, I'm going to be bold, I'm going to be brave, and I'm going to see where it takes me. Let me know in the comments if you've ever had any of these kind of experiences. Now, I know that the Fool card does not have an astrological connection. I mentioned earlier that it's connected to the planet Uranus, which is independence, freedom, expect the unexpected kind of vibes. But I do recognize that the Fool, since it's so innocent, feels almost like an Aries energy that says, I am. That is the mantra of Aries. I am. It's the most innocent sign of the zodiac. It's basically the infant or the baby of astrology. I think when we're in the Fool's energy, we start to question who we are. Let me know in the comments. When have you had a moment where you said, I don't even know who I am? Who am I? It's really a deep thought, and it really took me down the rabbit hole of who I am, where I've been, and what do I want moving forward. I would bet you that if I ask you right now, who are you? You're going to answer with something along the lines of mom, dad, daughter, teacher, customer service representative, insert profession here. Is that who you really are? I'd like to think that if I say, who are you? You would answer with things like, I'm happy, I'm compassionate, I'm enthusiastic, I'm excited about life. For some reason, we value the labels of who we are to other people. Take a moment to reflect on the question, who are you? I would love to know your answer in the comments below if you feel like you'd like to share. I'm very fascinated as to how people define themselves. And let's talk about something that might be a little bit triggering. Are you truly open? I talk to thousands of people. I do sessions every day, and I'm always asking this question, are you truly open? And the response that I get is, yes, Kelly, absolutely. If that opportunity comes my way, I will surely take it. If that job offer comes in, yep, I'll make that move. If that perfect person comes my way, you betcha, I'm going to go on that date and see where it goes. I want you to think about this for a moment. How do we get the rewards in life? Do we get them by sitting still and waiting for things to come to us? Or do we get them by sparking new energy, being bold, trusting, taking a leap of faith, and making moves? I'm all about sparking new energy. That's why I say experiential learning is so important. We have to learn to put ourselves out there. And I know that this triggers people because, well, I hear a lot about the dating world and I help people through those situations, and I can tell you that it takes time, effort, and consistency. I've been through all those trials and tribulations in regards to finding the perfect person. And by the way, there is no perfect person out there. It requires you to get better in your own skin, better with your boundaries, putting yourself out there, knowing what you like and what you don't like, and getting a thicker skin. Now, I know that that might not be a popular answer for many people or topic for many people, but I will tell you that if you stay in one spot, what does that mean? It means nothing changes. And if nothing changes, nothing changes. We can't rely on other people to be in the driver's seat of our own life. We need to be the one who controls our destiny, puts ourselves out there, and see where it takes us. Now, I know you have good intentions if you're telling me that you're open, but I do want you to think about what I call perceived openness. It's where we think we're so open, but then we find reasons not to be. So I'll ask you the question, are you truly open, or do you have a level of perceived openness? Let me know in the comments. As always, I like to know your thoughts and your feelings. Have you ever heard the statement, patiently waiting? To me, when I hear those two words, I feel like it's a contradiction. Waiting means I'm waiting. It means I'm looking at my watch or at the clock and I'm saying, when? And I hear this a lot from people. Kelly, when? When will my perfect person come in? When will I get that job offer? When? Well, if you're saying when and you're waiting, you're going to continue to wait. People really confuse patience and waiting, and I'm going to tell you why. Patience does not mean that I sit here and I'm patient and I'm waiting for things to come to me. Patience means I'm trusting the process. It means I'm putting myself out there. I'm truly open. I'm seeing where things are going to take me. I'm going to attract things to me as I'm sparking new energy. So therefore, if I'm being patient, it means things will come in a timely manner when they're meant to come to me. But again, back to the Fool energy. How can I spark new energy if I'm not willing to take that leap of faith, if I'm not willing to be open, if I'm not willing to take a risk? So ask yourself, are you patiently waiting right now? How do you feel about those words? Again, let me know in the comments. Throughout this video, you've heard me say the term sparked. So let me just recap a little bit what sparking means. It means starting something new, putting yourself out there, new hobbies, being truly open. No risk, no reward. So let me give you some final thoughts before we finish this video. I'd love for you to reflect back on what we spoke about today. And here are my reflection questions for you, almost like a little bit of homework. Question number 1, who are you? How do you define yourself? How do you define your energy? Number 2, are you truly open? Number 3, are you in waiting energy? Are you patiently waiting? Or are you making moves and sparking new energy? Okay, last question. What's something new that you would love to try? What are you passionate about? What did you stop doing that life got in the way? You have an opportunity for a brand new journey. You have an opportunity to be a fool and embark on something really exciting. Let me know in the comments. We've talked about a lot of things today, and I'm so thankful that you're still with me and that you've participated and you've gone into some deep thinking and analysis. If you have found this video helpful, please give me a like, a comment, a subscribe. It really means the world to me, and it helps people find my videos. In the next video, we're going to talk about the magician. This is all about communication, manifesting, and having all the tools to getting yourself to where you want to be. Thank you again, and I'll see you next time.